Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my review for the James Bond 007 Sean Connery 6-film collection, which is arriving on 4K Ultra HD finally on June 10th. Coming from Warner Brothers this time via MGM. It's been a long time coming for this. If you've been with me this whole time from when I started blogging for Scott Mendelson stuff, you know that the James Bond franchise is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. My favorite franchises. I love it to death. And yeah, it's where my start came from. So fitting, I'll be covering this for a 4K review. Now, history of James Bond on home video, like, it's kind of crazy. I owned them on VHS when they came back out during when GoldenEye was released with Pierce Brosnan. I owned them there. I sporadically owned DVDs. I was a broke college kid when that came out, so I just kind of picked and choose like some favorites on those, and then the sets were confusing. So I never really kept up with them on DVD, to admit, but I was a different time in my life, college, and then living in Los Angeles. I should have picked up on that, but did not. I do sport this Bond 50 set, which is amazing. This is one of my favorite releases of all time. I believe I did an unboxing when I was doing like some of my favorites during my early days of the Brandon Peters show. I think I went over this one. I love this set. Had the extra bit for Skyfall in there. I know they made a new set that was like more of a box when Spectre and then No Time to Die came out, but Bond 50 it is. I also own Never Say Never Again. This is an out-of-print Blu-ray. So this one's just the way to get that one. I don't own the Casino Royale comedy movie that has Woody Allen in it, and I just am not a fan of that movie. So if it comes on 4K, I'll finally cross it off, but I've just never been a big fan of that movie. And then, of course, for 4K, I have the Daniel Craig collection plus No Time to Die separately. Pretty cool. In terms of early spoilers on, hey, Brand, you hanging on to this now that you got the Connery? Yes, I'm freaking hanging on to this. This is like the best thing. I love it. The Blu-ray transfers going in this were excellent aside from the Brosnan films when this came out. Also, little spoiler, not all the bonus features from this are on the new release. And that's my cat, by the way. It's Blofeld, right? It's gotta have a cat here to have the whole full Bond thing going on. Sorry, she's not a white cat. But yeah, so the set does not have this bonus disc in it, and none of the features from that weren't really much anyway. So let's get to this extensive, probably long review here. It comes with a nice sleeve, which has different stuff on the back here than it does the front. So here we are, and see the back. A little more boring on here, just more full information. It is 6 discs, 6 4K discs, no Blu-ray discs included. There's Dr. No from Russia with Love. We have Goldfinger and Thunderball. I thought a bluer disc for Thunderball, but you know, water and stuff. But then we get You Only Live Twice and Diamonds Are Forever. They're doing the Sean Connery set. That's the way they did after Bond 50 when they came out. They did by Bond, which kind of stinks because I would love to have On Her Majesty's Secret Service in 4K. I'm sure it's coming now on the way that this is here. These took forever to get down here, by the way. You having fun? Okay. So yeah, like, so I've heard rumblings that Brosnan's is next, not Roger Moore. Of course, Lazenby will get a 1-discer, and then you'll have Dalton with 2. We already have the Daniel Craig, but I want to point out that I really like the artwork of this. I think it's very cool. When this art leaked, I was like, maybe that's a overseas release. There's no way it's going to be this. It is this, and I think this is pretty cool. I think this is fine. I like the international appeal to it. Yeah, I think it's cool. Very much. And I have some international, like if you watch my show and stuff, I sit in front of my Bond, part of my poster wall. where I have a French You Only Live Twice poster up, as well as some other Bond stuff. But yeah, I do like the artwork on this, so I gotta say. But if they're gonna do, if I'm going for Bond as soon as I can, so I'm not waiting on a set. I'm not waiting. You know, I would love if they did a Bond 50 thing or Bond 60, because I mean, we had never No Time to Die could have been a launching pad for the classics on 4K. Wasn't. We hit the 60th anniversary. That was not. So now we're at the anniversary of Thunderball or something. Like, what are we at here? But finally they're here. Yeah, so James Bond, very big fan. If you go back to Mendelssohn's Memos, it's still up, or you can go to my Naptown Nerd blog and click the James Bond part of it. My retrospective pieces are still up for each Bond film. Also out now with Aaron and Abe, I've done commentaries for a myriad of Bond movies. Most recently, we did The Man with the Golden Gun, but we have done, I think we did Moonraker, because we're Team Moonraker. We done From Russia with Love, and we've done Tomorrow Never Dies, and The World, Goldeneye, maybe? Or no, maybe, I can't. We've done a couple Brosnans. We did Quantum of Solace. I think we might have done Casino. And we did The Living Daylights. I haven't done Majesty's Secret Service yet. But yeah, okay. So let's get here with these. So it's kind of weird how I'm going to do this. I almost feel like I should do this as a whole set, because there's a lot of repetitive things I'll say here about these movies in terms of picture quality and audio quality, because it's very homogenous. All these films come from the same time period, and I think I maybe overall score it rather than movie by movie, because I'm going to say a lot of the same things about them. So this review, let's get it all over. Let's go all over the place with it. Why not? Why not? We've got some time here. We got 6 movies, starting with Dr. No, the original Bond adventure. It's a fine film. It gets you in the mood things, but I don't think they're onto it yet. What they wanted to do when they were making this is they were inspired by North by Northwest, and I don't think they really got the whole chase thing. Like, Bond's doing the chasing in this, whereas in North by Northwest, Cary Grant is the one being chased and turning the tables and going on the fly there. They figured that out in the next film. But Dr. No's, it's got the vibes. It's fun. Things are not quite set in their ways with Bond. Very interesting. But the best thing about Dr. No is Connery himself is one of the best breakout performances in film history. There's a reason why he's still touted as the top Bond, not just because he was first. It's because he's so good, and he's the one they look back to. I mean, people borrow things from his performance, and he's quite good. There's some solid action sequences in here, some good espionage, some spy things. It's just an overall fun movie. Yeah, solid stuff. From Russia with Love, that one is my favorite Bond film of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. Great action classic of the 1960s. There's a reason this is the movie they always go back to when they need to ground things or bring it back. This has an excellent set of villains. Really opens up Spectre. You get your first Blofeld petting the cat. You get Rosa Klebb. You get Red Grant. The big heavy, the blonde heavy would be a repetitive thing throughout the Bond series. There's a MacGuffin. They figure out that the Lecter is really, it's like a nothing. But the one thing that's cool about this movie, I mean, it's got great action. There's the sniper scene, which is awesome. There's a shootout. But once they go to grab the Lecter, it is a non-stop action masterpiece. It is scene after scene with just varying things. There's the escape from the building when the bomb goes off, running through the tunnels. There's the train. There's the scene with the helicopter that's attacking Bond. There's the boat chase, and then we have a little wrestling match with Rosa Klebb and the poison-tipped knife in the boot thing. It's miraculous. And then we follow it up with Goldfinger, the quintessential Bond movie for majority of people. It's the one, it's the everything. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. You've got the laser. This is a really cool thing. Really good movie top to bottom. It's the one that's like, okay, we'll put the song in the opening credits, because From Russia with Love is almost there, but the song like appears in the movie and then towards the end of the credits, rather than over the credits. But hey, I figure it out. And Goldfinger also is the one that establishes a stunt slash action sequence to open up the film, which is very cool. And it's the first movie since Terrence Young directed the first two, and then Guy Hamilton does 3, and it also goes away from Spectre. Goldfinger's not affiliated with that; it's its own sort of thing. It's a movie where Bond gets captured and has to witness everything. It's quite fun. It's got also the henchman with the weird skill is there, with Odd Job and his bowler hat. It's quite good. So now I'm going to stop here. I'm going to talk about the video for those first 3 films. Goldfinger, From Russia with Love, and Dr. No. They all come in here at 2160p 4K image, HEVC/H.265 encoding now. And I don't know the exact size. These were shot released with 166 1 aspect ratio, which is very to compare, it's Hammer films. So it's not like a 1:3:1. It's a wide image, but it's still got some bars on the side, some matting, some thick matting, okay? And when I popped these in, I noticed something. I was like, wait a minute. And I compared to my Blu-ray set. They have either zoomed or cropped this, and it's closer to like a 1781 image than anything. It may be even like, if you took the sides and put them at the top, still a little bigger than a 185/1. So they have manipulated the image on these, which kind of stinks in my opinion, because I want the original thing. I know what it existed as. So they've tried to do it to probably fill your TV more, which, stop it. I want the original look of these. But they are manipulated. And that's a bummer to me. But that's my gripe. Because aside from that, these look gorgeous. The natural blacks really, really add to these. Like the M's office and Dr. No and stuff, it's like a whole different experience. And also when Bond is in Goldfinger going through the hotel room and it's dark, it's like, ooh, feels like I'm kind of there. The contrast between the dark and the brighter thing, like explosions stuff, really pops off the screen like no other in these. Display lights are good. Just everything, there's a lot more detail, and the depth is really noticeable in the improvement here. And I have never been able to tell this before, but not to a huge degree, but the direction of Terrence Young to Guy Hamilton sticks out here. Like, there's a different lighting techniques and a different look of the films, where Goldfinger has scenes where they actually look more like sets than was more convincingly done in Dr. No and From Russia with Love, and sometimes looks, well, I'll save that for Diamonds, because it's not really true for Goldfinger, but it does kind of look more sets-ish, and things are a little bit more lit than they would have been, dropping the cinematic bit a hair, especially when they're out in the daylight and things. Looks a lot different. And I will say too, amongst all the films, the day for night stuff, which happens a lot during the Bond movies in this era, looks really nice. Looks more convincing here with 4K than it did on Blu-ray or DVD. So I gotta hand it to them with that. But these look really tremendous. Happy with the look. And yeah, my only gripe, and that's on the first 3 films only, is that you manipulate the image. You either zoom or cropped it, or cropped and then zoomed it to fit the TV screens. And yeah, I'm not thrilled with that, but it's also, to most people, and I can get over it, but I'm sure some people might have a problem, it's not that big of a deal breaker. It's not that much going away. But yeah, so let's move back to the movies. We've done the video on those. Next up is Thunderball, biggest Bond yet. I mean, this one, Terrence Young obviously saw this as some Goldfinger's like, no, not letting this man sleep in my house. So he comes back with a vengeance here with some breathtaking underwater sequences that he might be in love with a little too much. I know people talk about this one, the underwater stuff drags, but it's impressive. And on this 4K is even more impressive looking when you see these. This has the ship known as the Disco Volante, which is there a cooler name for like a base or a ship or something than that from Emilio Largo. This also has Claudine Auger, has Domino, who was in some Baba movies, and Fiona Volpe. She's one of the cooler henchmen, assassin people. But Thunderball is such a good story. They made it twice. Whoops. That's a legal thing. That's wrong. If that's all you can make, then you make it, I guess. But yeah. So Thunderball is awesome. I like it. It's probably at a tier with Goldfinger for me. But it goes really well. It's a fun movie. Real big. Like it quite a bit. Then I also am a big fan of You Only Live Twice, and I know that's probably controversial because there's a lot of cultural appropriation, like some racism in there, but I've always, and I'm not making excuses for things that if you're offended, you're offended, but I've always equated it to like this white dude that went to some other country on a vacation, had the best time, learned all this stuff about culture, and then went home to tell people about it in his own way. And that's what ends up on the film. But this movie is awesome and fun as hell. This one it rocks. It keeps going. It has the weakest opening, where the rocket gets stolen and then James Bond is killed, and it's kind of weak. But it has a killer song, killer song, and such fun. Like I like the car in this one, that little white thing. And there's a great scene. This is the first Lewis Gilbert one. He would come back for Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker. So he has his own little trilogy of these massive bases because he had the volcano one here, undersea, and then up in Space Station in Moonraker. But he has a scene where Bond is being chased and he goes up this rooftop and he just has a helicopter shot that he lets go of Bond running, fighting, chasing, running. And I love it. And this is Connery's last go of it for that time. And he's definitely into it here in a way he's not in his next one. This has Blofeld as Donald Pleasance, which might be the best Blofeld of them all. And yeah, it's an awesome movie. Really like it. So if you can look past some of those things and just say, hey, that's pretty silly, and they're definitely wrong for some things, you can get by with it. And then lastly, Diamonds Are Forever, which is one of my least favorite Bonds of all time. And getting back to what I was saying about Guy Hamilton, a lot of his scenes in this one start looking like they could have been on TV. They don't feel big and cinematic. It has to do with his lighting or something and technique. There's a lot of campy performances in Diamonds Are Forever. I could pop in Diamonds Are Forever and watch it, no problem. Like, I'm a big Bond fan. I don't get that angry at these things, but quality wise, this was definitely a dip. Got a cool song though. Some of the Vegas stuff is nifty. I like the car chase with the red car, and it goes on two wheels through the alley. But yeah, it's a bit goofy. Jill St. John is not great, but she was apparently agreed on because of the mafia. the Vegas mafia wanted her in the movie and was helping secure rights to shoot places and things. So I know like there's a thing where Bond Goes to America equals bad movie, and it starts here apparently. But yeah, Diamonds Are Forever, the worst of Connery. I actually might prefer Never Say Never Again to that one. But yeah, it just, and Connery feels like he's sleepwalking through it. It's just not the greatest of Bond movies. So there's kind of my thoughts. I've talked about these ad nauseum for years. So if you want, I mean, they're old thoughts now. These are like when they start writing for Scott 13 years ago or so. So those would be there, and then the commentaries plenty. I love talking about Bond, I do, but also for your time as well. So let's get to the video from these. These are all in the 235-1. They're our original one, and they look amazing. Again, like I said, the depth really helps in these. The one I was most enamored with was Diamonds Are Forever. In at least one, Vegas looks amazing. All the city lights, the glows, just looking at the city. Like there's a big, like when they're up high in some of the hotel buildings, looking out the windows, just like amazing. Like the depth and then the light, just contrasting to the darkness out there. It's just awesome. Really, really enjoyed it. Details are quite strong. You Only Live Twice really looks good in that volcano base, as well as a lot of the dark scene. Like I gotta stress this. I know it's like, duh, 4K, the image looks a little darker, but here, like, it really enhances and enriches these in a way that I didn't know was going to be possible, because I thought the Blu-rays of these were quite incredible to begin with, and they've done it up even more, and they've kept the grain structures in with these things. They look really nice. Just the details on like clothing, you see like just like fluffiness and patterns and all sorts of things. Like even like the casino tabletops in these movies, just the felt and stuff you can see. Yeah, and people's faces, just more interesting, more like the details on them, just really rock. And yeah, so I really like the video, the image on these. Audio wise, so it's very interesting. For all the movies, they all contain English Dolby Atmos, original theatrical English, which is lossless. We'll get to that in a sec. English descriptive audio, French, German, Italian, both Spanish, Latin America, and Castilian. And then subtitles, French, German, Italian, Spanish, both of them, and Dutch. Now, Thunderball includes an Atmos with an alternate, it says alternate, and then original theatrical English alternate. So I'm not quite sure what that is. Someone, if you want to tell me, go ahead in the comments. That's fine. I guess lazy reviewer here. I probably put it down there and I meant to look it up, but I apologize. So that one's the only one with any difference in audio. They all carry the same, and all the Atmos mixes, I gotta say, are quite there with it. They're good, but not great. They get the job done. Very clean sounding, nice, airy. They don't go overly overjoyous with their mixes. Like they're not just throwing stuff in there to begin with. Impact of explosions and gunshots and crashes and cars squealing around, perfectly done by the subwoofer. The thing I was most entertained by, because I did a lot of dipping around with it, but the original theatrical monos are awesome. I really was impressed with them, and I think I liked them the most, which purists will be like, of course you did. But there was a lot of stuff I was hearing in them that, I mean, I've watched these movies who knows how many times in my life, and I was hearing stuff I'd never heard before. And I don't think I ever, because it was Dolby Digital, I never went with them on the Blu-rays. So here, check them out. Go for the original theatrical, because like Dr. No from Rush, like, when I was playing with them, I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. That sounds cool. Like I could hear little things in the score and all sorts of things that I didn't really particularly pick up on in the Atmos mix or the 5.1s that were on the previous Blu-rays. So yeah, very good stuff. So yeah, let's move on to the bonus materials. So this comes with digital copies of each movie. I can't tell you what bonus materials are there because the digital code is not ready for redemption yet. It's not. That's the thing that happens with you when you review stuff sometimes. The codes, like whatever you're redeeming, isn't active yet, so you can't redeem it. So I won't know till this comes out, but I thought I'd give you a heads up on it, because I mainly focus on this. I don't really do digital reviews. So the bonus material, like I mentioned, the bonus disc on that one had none of that's present here. The image galleries are all gone. They aren't on this. Then the credits, there was like a little thing where you could watch like a minute 21 of credits or something on the old ones. They're not here either. Also missing, there were little quick featurettes from the Blu-rays that focused on like the gadget, like Q's Lab gadgets, the women, the vehicle. None of those are here. So kind of bummer. But featurettes and little mini docs are all present here. I'm going to run down these. I think I got most of them down. I apologize if I say exotic locations. All are here. That's one that they kept. That's here. So let me go through here. All the commentaries are back for all the movies, each one. The mission dossier is here, but some of those go in a different, like the declassified on these. It's kind of weird, but all of those. So like for Dr. No, the restoration featurettes about restoring them for Blu-ray, obviously not here. So that's there. Yeah, you got like the Guns of James Bond, Premiere. There's a Inside Dr. No, Terrence Young, Bon Vivant. There's a not 1963 featurette, and then it's got the Ministry of Propaganda, which has the radio ads, TV ads, trailers for things. Yeah, all the interactive things or whatever are not here. From Russia with Love has the Ian Fleming CBC interview, Ian Fleming and Raymond Chandler, Ian Fleming on Desert Island Discs. Inside From Russia with Love, Harry Saltzman Showman, the animated storyboard sequence, the action sequences thing, TV broadcasts. It's on there. Then on Goldfinger, the making of Goldfinger Phenomenon, on tour with Aston Martin. There's an on-set thing with Sean Connery. There's screen tests and Honor Blackman open-ended interview, and then of course the trailers and stuff. But there's an audio-only interview with Sean Connery that I don't think made it over here, so that's not on here as well. Then we move to Thunderball, which has The Incredible World of James Bond, the 1985 NBC TV special, A Child's Guide to Blowing Up a Motor Car, which is a 1965 Ford promotional film, On Location with Ken Adam, Bill Suter, the Rocket Man movies, the Thunderball boat show reel, the television advertisements, the making of Thunderball Phenomenon, Secret History of Thunderball, and then like the trailers, and You Only Live Twice, has Welcome to Japan, Mr. Bond, Wicker's World, which is BBC highlights from a BBC documentary, On Location with Ken Adam, Inside You Only Live Twice, Silhouettes, the James Bond titles, Plane Crash, an animated storyboard sequence, exotic locations, of course, like I said, for all of them, and then the trailers and stuff. And then we also, on Diamonds Are Forever, we have Sean Connery, the 1971 BBC interview, Close Quarter Combat, Oil Rig Attack, Satellite Test Reel, Explosion Tests, Alternate and Expanded Angles, Deleted Scenes, Inside Diamonds Are Forever, Cubby Broccoli, The Man Behind Bond, exotic locations, and all the trailers and stuff. So that's what we have here for the bonus on here. If I missed one, sorry, it's a lot of stuff to go through. So, let's go over the Bond set, this set. Let's go back through it, okay? So the films, I give Dr. No a 4. I give From Russia with Love a 5. Goldfinger a 4.5. Thunderball 4. You Only Live Twice 4. And Diamonds Are Forever 2 out of 5. All of those. And then video, this goes across the board. I'm giving a 4.5 out of 5 for these. What keeps it from a perfect score is for me, the manipulating of the image. It's petty, but they look amazing, but we're also losing some of the picture in the original framing in the way of the image. So there's that. The audio, I give a 4.5 out of 5. Reminder, check out the original theatrical mixes. And then I'm going to give the bonus material a 4. We are missing things from the previous releases, but we have most of it all intact. Unfortunately, there's nothing new. It's been a long time since they did something new for bonus material on a James Bond release, but there we are. So Overall score for this, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Just because I think this is what we got. We waited this long for this. They give you, there was definitely great work put in the restorations for these. The audio, doing a new Atmos mix, and making the original theatrical lossless, and giving us as much of the bonus material as they could. Probably because like the menus on these are a static image with Connery, same image on every disc, the title in a generic font, and then it says 007, and it's filled in with poster art and stuff from whatever movie it is, and it's just got the bottom thing. So some of these are probably gone because they didn't want to put a billion things in the bonus, and it sucks. But so yeah, hold on to this because it's an awesome set anyway. I'm a packaging nut. Would I have preferred they do a whole Bond thing first? Yes. Would I have preferred maybe they go like by era, like the 60s release, 70s, 80s, not maybe, but I'll take what we get. Sean Connery is my favorite James Bond, and now I have all of them. Very cool. Appreciate that. So that's the score is 4.5 for this release, because little things could have been better, but I'm not going to be too greedy or hard on it. I'm very happy, of course. What a cool release. You can pick this up on June 10th. You can order it using the code in the description. Yeah, I think I've talked a lot, and if you watch this whole half hour of me talking more Bond, thank you. I appreciate it. As always, check out the Summer of 2015 at 10 series, which is currently running. And yeah, until next time, as always, stay film positive.